You should clothe yourselves instead with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is precious to God.
Last week on Different Strokes.
Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask. All I'm saying is protection comes with a little bit of sacrifice. It comes with a little bit of control. And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it.
Hopefully you're familiar with the content creator Erica Leshai. Her content recently seems to be pretty much straightforward in the midst of the Brickgate controversy, but she's getting quite a bit of pushback, showing the level of bravery she has continuing to make such content. This might be the worst take I've ever heard about the brick attack. Mammies are us responses to this video. What does this even mean? Everybody's so creative. Are you okay, sweetness? Is someone in the back seat? Wear yellow in your next video if you need help. Clearly, her comments are against the grain, and she's going to speak on the kind of backlash she's getting from it.
I made a video about black women and preventative protection and how if you want someone to protect you, you're going to have to listen to them and try to avoid being in dangerous situations. And because you guys didn't like what I said, I received death threats. People wish that someone would bust my car window and pistol whip me. People wish that some people, or that they themselves, could find me and hit me with a brick. So I'll say this again, for the people that have sense, preventative protection is the best kind of protection. For every other crime that exists, we understand that preventative measures is the best way to avoid said crimes.
It's very unfortunate to see Erica Leshai get so much pushback from what seems like a common sense point of view, really. If someone is going to put their neck on the line to protect you, the least you could do is be under their control so that that person can save you and possibly save themselves in the process. I can explain from the male point of view how much men appreciate a woman who considers what he's investing in protecting her. But I think that the Dr. Green Gorilla can do it even better.
The world is a dangerous place, man. It always has been. Animals understand this. That's why you don't see frogs getting rid of their poison. You don't see, bulls getting rid of their horns. You don't see dogs all of a sudden having the same kind of, dental structures as humans. No, like snakes have fangs and they will bite and kill you. They have defense mechanisms for a reason, because the world is dangerous, okay?
What Dr. Green Gorilla explained so well is that there is a price to protection because the world is dangerous. And a woman that appreciates the amount of danger there is in the world will do things to keep the man that wants to protect her out of harm's way unnecessarily. Something that women like Erica Leshai clearly understand. Unfortunately, modern day black culture operates a bit like April Fool's Day, where left is right and up is down, and what would be common sense 40 or 50 years ago now is something that is attacked. And the regular behavior, well,
I don't hate men. I hate men who reinforce patriarchy. But that's most men. So now where does that leave us?
She just started yelling and screaming and pointing at a black man, and that's all it took. And like a bunch of sheep, they fell right for it.
I don't know why you standing up for these women. She not gonna sleep with you, bro. Yes, she will. Yes, she will. Who's gonna tell the dweebs that? Who's gonna tell them? We are, in fact, sleeping with the men y'all call panderers. Because what you call pandering is actually being a good, decent human being.
Because I think the mistake a lot of women be making is like feeling like they have to constantly disclaim that they don't hate men. I think it's very okay for oppressed people to have resentment towards their oppressor. Let me just make that one clear.
And no, I don't feel sorry for none of y'all who believed her. Instead of throwing money at this apparent liar, you should have used that money for therapy, because obviously you have some deep-rooted issues that you haven't worked out yet.
There's a very big difference between cosplaying as a nice person to get what you want from women and walking through this world with a healthy understanding of gender dynamics, of chauvinism, of patriarchy. Those are real things, and therefore treating women with more compassion and empathy as you interact with us. And I promise you, those are the men that can't keep the girls off their line.
We need to hold space for the women who hate men, because it's okay to hate people that kill you. I think that sounds fair in my opinion.
What's unfortunate about the attack on Erica Leshai in the midst of the kind of behavior we've seen become more normalized is that she represents the type of femininity that many black men and maybe most passport bros are actually seeking overseas. In fact, Dr. Green Gorilla can explain what men are looking for even better than I can.
I don't want to get biblical, but there is like First Peter chapter 3 verses 3 through 5.
Yeah.
Don't be concerned about the outward beauty of fancy hairstyles, expensive jewelry, or beautiful clothes. You should clothe yourselves instead with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is precious to God. This is how the holy women of old made themselves beautiful.
Yeah.
They put their trust in God and accepted the authority of their husbands.
Yeah, they do all over the world, except here.
If I had a bomb to drop on your format right now, I would drop it.
Dr. Green Gorilla went on to say this.
But the point is that the authority of the husband has now been replaced by the authority of bureaucracy and technocrats.
Yep,
Okay?
Patron and Patriarch, the father of the state, right?
The urban definition of pick-me girl is a girl who seeks male validation by indirectly or directly insinuating that she is not like other girls, basically a female version of a simp. Characteristics of a pick-me girl lets men walk all over her because of her carefree demeanor, only hangs out with men because they're unproblematic, exerts qualities, characteristics of her male counterparts that were not initially present to be more likable and relatable to them. Clearly, this isn't a flattering definition of pick-me, so when women like Erica Leshai are labeled as such, is meant as a kind of slur. But what I think women like Erica Leshai and women around the world who understand the value of a man's protection, they know that having that man in your life means there's a guy who, if you show him a level of submission, he will go to bat for you, even at times sacrificing himself for you. Gigi's going to explain that further because it's something that's lost in our April Fool's Day culture.
Human beings have always been dangerous to each other. Always have been. There's never, just to use a metaphor, not saying it's literal or anything, Cain killed Abel, guys. Okay? so you got to be careful when you're out here. But for some reason, the arrogance, it's the naive arrogance of women who believe that they should be able to walk through the world without experiencing any danger at all. It's ridiculous. This idea of being hyper safe, hyper protected, hyper being able to walk around the world without being exposed to danger at all. Nobody in the world thinks, except for women in this culture, the Western world, thinks that they should be free from all danger for all times.
That's princess syndrome, right?
And look, here's the unique thing about it. For the most part, women in the Western world are the safest on the planet.
They are.
They are the safest women in the world. But in the world, women are the ones who experience the least amounts of violence. It's just a fact. They live longer. They outnumber everybody else in the population. Okay? They don't have to fight war. They don't take on the most dangerous jobs.
In this digital era, we have access to resources unimaginable just a decade or two ago. And for many black men in this particular space, one of those resources is a PhD in philosophy in Dr. Green Gorilla. He is a PhD who has a way of voicing the black male experience in a way that many of us can't put the terminology to. And I think for many black men, and specifically black men who are looking to go overseas, a resource like Green Gorilla helps us understand the kind of culture that we come from. This culture that's basically an upside down type of April Fool's Day culture where we attack the women who are quote unquote pygmies, but the women who basically are the opposite of that are the growing norm. And trying to get used to that norm as we go overseas is only going to result in us carrying a norm with us that is abnormal. And some of us, many of us, have to do the work to understand what we came from and what we have to do so that we can be the person we need to be where we're going. Because that is a lot of work that many men have not considered outside of learning a language and buying a plane ticket. Our culture is upside down, and we need to evaluate that and our place in it before we try and understand our place in a new culture. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.